What are some terrifying facts about the internet? Story 1: The internet is not free. Countries such as Iran and China have demonstrated they have full control of the internet within their borders for all but the savvy user. China can shape results shown by popular searches by making demands of those corporations. They have made historical events disappear from their citizens' perspectives. Iran shut down their internet and cell infrastructure to quench the Arab Spring. I think both. They can spy on common messaging apps to hunt for dissidents. And even in the US, there are legislative efforts to outlaw end to end encryption. Story 2: Every single click which you make is recorded. From those accumulated data can be created the precise profile of your personality and your surroundings. Starting to see ads for diapers. Wife is pregnant. Dating apps are popping in recommendations. You're lonely and watch too much. The internet is starting to know us better than we know ourselves. Story 3: Use caution while publishing anything online. You don't necessarily have to erase something in order for it to be gone. When you argue with someone, they can discover a picture of you that you believed to be lost. Because it happened to me, I can attest to this. Even while social networking platforms and other websites collect personal data from you when you browse and publish, it seems harmless to target you with ads. My main worry is that this information might one day fall into the wrong hands and be used against you as well. Celebrities have already experienced such things. They created a video 7 years ago and presto, it appears. Story 4: Hacking is more prevalent than ever. As per the 2019 Sophos Labs threat report, 30,000 websites fall victim to hacking attacks every day. Over time, hacking has evolved into numerous forms. Hacking is now linked to bogus news and even implicating digital paper trails. With the development of new technologies, hackers continue to improve. Every year, we spend more time online. As per the 2019 Internet Trends Report by Kleiner Perkins, adults are active online for 5.9 hours every day. The majority of laptops and phone retailers are putting daily usage caps in place to address this expanding problem. The choice of our next president may be made by the internet. Story 5: The Google Opposite. In the bright, flashy daily world, regular people use search engines like Google to look up information online. These benign services are made to search web pages and other published media, such as documents, movies, or photographs, for useful information. They give us connections to websites so we can visit them or obtain the information we need. However, search engines come in a wide variety of forms. Those who have no interest at all in searching for web content. Their goal is to generate a list of internet connected devices. They can now find complete systems thanks to the Internet of Things and other linked services. These include internet connected devices such as traffic lights, smart highways, industrial plants, nuclear power plants, traffic cameras, and residential IoT goods. Story 6: Dark Magic Methods. The process of banner grabbing makes it possible to search the internet for this kind of information. It is a method that gathers metadata that is sent over protocols like FTP, HTTP, RTSP, real-time streaming protocol, SIP, SNMP, SSH, and Telnet from a server to a client. This metadata gives details about a networked computer system and the services it uses to execute on open ports. System administrators typically carry out this kind of work on their own networks to compile an inventory of all the systems and services. However, these search engines gather such information globally and make it accessible to the general public. Story 7: Dark Searches. These search engines' ability to filter results to produce a list of particular device kinds, together with their services and software, including operating systems, is what makes them valuable to cyber criminals and state-sponsored spies. One publicly accessible search engine has yielded results for items like nuclear power plants and the command and control systems of science research, particle accelerators. Story 8. The fact that it is feasible to look for servers and devices that utilize default passwords like 0000 or 1234 and usernames like admin may alarm corporate readers more. This yields a lengthy list of outcomes. All a hacker needs to do with this information at their disposal is be able to use a web browser to visit the login page. One security expert at the DEF CON cybersecurity conference utilized just such a search engine to gain access to the command and control systems of several Internet of Things devices, like smart air coolers and automated garage doors. They also found a major city's traffic management system that could be accessed via the internet and activated with a simple command, putting it in testing mode. Story 9. Why can one access these search engines? Fortunately, people working to make the internet a safer place, security professionals, antivirus software providers, penetration testing firms, academic researchers, and government organizations like GCHQ's National Cyber Security Center are the primary users of these search engines. The data they discover contributes to a clearer understanding of how insecure the internet is right now. It not only identifies the flaws, but it also indicates the location of them. This allows for the alerting of sensitive services, including nuclear power plants. On the other hand, thieves can also identify the vulnerabilities if the good guys can. Additionally, they have access to botnets that can find the same information without leaving their own fingerprints for other users to find, so they don't need to rely on these kinds of search engines. Story 10. Defend your system from malicious actors. The issue that many organizations have is that they do not have adequate security against hackers when they start connecting their systems via a web server. They frequently share their data, finances, and intellectual property with the world by inadvertently leaving their systems vulnerable to intrusion attempts. You must implement a robust security policy, which should include email protection, firewalls, secure authentication, application updates and patching, password policies, intrusion prevention, and staff training in order to protect yourself. Story 11Y2K was definitely a real thing that could have happened if no one decided to look at the problem. The reason it never happened is because businesses around the world changed the year from 99 to 1999. Nothing happened, so everyone called it a hoax, except something did change. When you input the year on the computer, you suddenly had to use 4 digits for the year instead of only two. So everyone thought it was big media that was scaring everyone, but it was an actual problem that companies spent a ton of money on to fix. Then no one got praised for fixing it because everyone thought it was a hoax since nothing happened. Story 12. A lot of algorithms in big tech aren't written by people. They're written by other programs, which create the algorithms by repeatedly changing small things, testing them against known data sets, and then only keeping those which did well in the test. At a certain point of iteration, no human being knows exactly what the algorithm is or why certain features of it exist. They just know it produces results that seem correct or suitable for purpose. Maybe that's okay if your algorithm is reordering your playlist to seem random because humans dislike true randomness, but it's terrifying if your livelihood depends on that algorithm. Gig workers, content creators, or even your liberty. Algorithms which police use to tag your activity as suspicious, or which judges use to determine if you should be paroled. Did I mention training data can be biased? What if they only trained the algorithm with people who don't look like you? Or if they decided the algorithm was good to use because it matched prior policy, even if that policy was biased? How does the algorithm react in situations in which a human operator would know to bend the rules. This is what gives me pause about software, that it mindlessly enforces policy with no wiggle room, no understanding, and little accountability, and we've put software in charge of our society. Story 13, that the universe doesn't like computers because when cosmic rays, you can't see or feel cosmic rays as they just pass right through you, hit transistors in the right spot at the right time, it causes a bit flip 1 to 0 or vice versa, which can cause glitches or even your computer or phone to crash. So next time your Windows crashes, you can most likely blame it on the universe. What's even scarier is these cosmic rays can change data in your machine. Binary is how computers store information. A bunch of 1s and 0s cosmic rays have the power to turn a number from a 1 to a 0, which depending on how unlucky you are, can F your crap up. I heard of cases where it happened on an airplane autopilot. A cosmic ray changed the binary and almost crashed the thing because of it. Apparently, it changed the flight angle number toward the ground. Nowadays, that have multiple computers with the same data, and if one is corrupt, the others will repair it from the rays. Story 14. People don't understand the positive effects of proper computer maintenance, and even if they could do it themselves, the manufacturer never tells you dust must be cleaned out, or eventually you will never, and I mean never, get it out, and nobody replaces the thermal compound. Your CPU was much better than it is now. The thermal compound dried out last year, and now it's been thermal throttling this whole time. Doesn't matter though because it's outdated, so go buy a new one. Story 15. What is a terrifying yet little known fact about computers? Generally, people have no idea how much data is collected from them by computers, desktops, laptops, smart TVs, tablets, smartphones, voice assistants, car infotainment systems, digital camera systems, etc. Scary, scary amounts of data, and it only takes a few pieces of data to de-anonymize you. The data comes from everywhere. Tons and tons of apps, especially the free ones, have invisible backdoors in them, silently whisking away your personal data. Even a small app, like a free flashlight app with only say 35 alco users, can easily earn $1,000 a month just from selling your data behind the scenes. Apps can tell from the tilt of your phone if you're in bed or on the toilet. Your phone's accelerometer can tell if you're sleeping, walking, running, or driving. Using data aggregation by device and IP address, you'll see ads on social media for things that you merely only talked about but never searched for. The tracking aspect alone is horrifying. This TED Talk was 10 years ago. Story 16. Computers can be affected by your body since it conducts electricity and is basically a giant antenna. If you feel a shock from static electricity, that is several thousand times the amount of static charge that could potentially destroy more sensitive components. Sometimes, PCs will react strangely with a certain person due to their conductivity. I once fixed a computer for a user who would get all sorts of random errors. I was working on it once and couldn't reproduce the issue. Then she got within 10 feet of the PC, and here come all the errors. She moved away, and they cleared up, swapped her PC with a spare, and she never had another issue. To this day, I've never seen this before or since. The user had a knee replacement, and we figured that somehow contributed. Story 17. The invention of computers makes it far easier to kill and maim people. Nukes can hit cities with pinpoint accuracy. Missiles and bombs can shred cities. Soon even the guns on tanks and military vehicles will be using machine learning to kill instantly. War will be like fighting with aimbots. It won't be a battle of humans anymore, but a battle of robots. Humans will be so outclassed in the future wars. Story 18. Anything connected to internet is not secure, and privacy is a luxury. One leaked password can make your life a living hell, especially when it's connected to your banking information. Anything smart you buy will last as much as the company wants it to. Any internet-connected machine is a tool or a gate to any good things, as much as bad things beyond imagination. A smart home, if connected to some systems, could kill you. Heating systems in special, but other systems can misbehave and lead to big problems. In any portable device, there is a battery capable of burning down your house if treated badly or protection malfunction. The thing is to learn to properly use any computer, and you won't have any problems. As humans, we mastered other things that, if you think about, they are really dangerous. We just didn't comprehend how dangerous they are until something bad happened. Story 19. All Intel chipsets since 2008 have a mini computer subsystem called Minix OS, which is closed source, inaccessible, has low-level access, and no one really knows what it does. It can theoretically see and share everything you do on your computer to a third party without you knowing, including the RAM contents, network devices, and cryptographic engine. It can directly access the network interface using a dedicated link for out-of-band communication. Thus, even if you monitor traffic with a tool like Wireshark or TCP dump, you might not necessarily see the data packet sent by Intel ME. It's a massive security flaw. You can buy computers from security experts specifically with that part disabled, which you can't do without a good knowledge of computer hardware. Story 20. If your computer has never been hacked, one of two things are true. It has been hacked and you don't know it yet. You have nothing of interest. The only secure computer is unplugged from everything and locked in a vault. The moment you turn it on, it's vulnerable. The more things you connect to it, the faster it can be compromised. You don't even need to be tricked into doing something. Just having it online and on a network is like having a home with 50,000 doors that you don't have time to check whether they're locked. Story 21. Ever watched or heard about Skynet in the movie Terminator? This crap can be real if we are not careful, but mankind is not going to disappear, unfortunately. This happened with the virus My Doom. Like Skynet, My Doom was moving by itself on every single computer it could and requested a certain amount of money to get the virus off the computer. This attack could be more dangerous than others, like collecting data from every computer. It sounds small, but knowing even a little about a person's life, you can use this info against him and do a lot of damage. Even by getting only his name, you can find his Facebook, then his wife, then his children, then his friends, etc. Then serious blackmail is going to happen. Story 22:1. The actual size. It is estimated that the size of the hidden internet exceeds 500 times that of the public internet. 420 million IP addresses, plus an additional 36 million that have one or more ports open could be included or excluded. According to the figures, 591 million IP addresses were used since 141 million IP addresses were firewalled, so they could appear to be in use. More IP addresses, 729 million, had reverse DNS domain name system records. These are unquestionably accessible and in use from the rest of the internet, and if those are added, the total would be 1.3 billion. Not a single one of the remaining 2.3 billion addresses was in use. It is not possible to locate these gadgets via a Google search. Story 23. People assume that nothing can be found when they don't see something on Google. That is untrue, according to John Matherly, the man of Shodan, the scariest search engine on the internet. This computer programmer came up with the concept of searching gadgets connected to the internet in 2003. He introduced Shodan, a unique search engine, in 2009. The name comes from a character in the System Shock video game series. It gathers data on over 500 million linked devices and services every month while operating around the clock. What can be discovered on Shodan with just a quick search is astounding. What started off as a side project many years ago can now be used to locate devices on the internet that anyone leaves unprotected, such as security cameras, traffic lights, and control systems for petrol stations, electricity grids, and nuclear power plants. The fact that Shodan is primarily used for good is a plus. Only 10 results without an account and 50 results with an account were returned by Matherly's search. You may need to pay the inventor of Shodan in addition to disclosing your intended use of the data if you want to access all of the information that Shodan has to offer. Story 24. In theory, this implies that a computer wizard might potentially use the internet to manipulate your system if your equipment is left unattended. It is possible for someone else to remotely manage your computer via the internet, and you would be completely unaware of how it could have happened. The next time your computer acts erratic or the cursor becomes erratic, don't assume it's just a virus that has to be removed. It might be someone using the internet to take control of your machine. We utilize the internet on a daily basis, but we still don't know enough about this enormous and mostly unexplored resource. What will we see next if programmers have already uncovered such shocking facts about internet-connected computers? Story 25. If you believed that using a computer was extremely safe, as long as you avoided visiting any really flashy websites, you should reconsider. A researcher carried out an investigation known as the Internet Census in 2012. In an effort to have fun with computers and the internet, millions of unsecured PCs were accessed worldwide as part of the experiment. To locate and log into open devices, he created a customized version of the Telnet scanner. The target computers were constrained, though, because according to the study, roughly 70% of all open devices are either too small, don't run Linux, or have a highly constrained Telnet interface. As a result, starting or even uploading a binary is not possible. Then, in an attempt to defend his actions, he said that it was just a fun idea to let very small devices log into even smaller and less capable devices to use them for something. The report, however, is shocking. 68 million traceroute records were produced as a result of this operation. Story 26. Big businesses are deliberately putting malware into your computer. Two of the biggest software industries are data protection and internet security. Large-scale, widely reported data breaches at organizations like Anthem, Home Depot, Target, and Living Social have increased public awareness of the importance of being cautious when safeguarding personal information. I think the Lenovo incident is the largest cautionary tale to date. In September and December of 2014, Lenovo, a Chinese computer technology company, purposefully added an application named Superfish to its machines. Superfish software collects data to provide users with advertisements based on a visual search engine. In essence, the software made the user's computer vulnerable to a variety of potential threats, including the theft of private data like account and password information. Malware is the kindest way to characterize Superfish. According to the Department of Homeland Security, it leaves systems open to dangerous cyber attacks. Story 27. Retailers should take a cue from the gaming industry regarding security and privacy. Remarkable data breaches have been announced recently by Home Depot, Chick-fil-A, Marriott, Target, and other major companies. Certain businesses, which you may not have guessed, have taken a more aggressive approach to data security and privacy protection than retailers who have been sluggish to prioritize data security. The majority of people are aware that casinos all around the world have some of the strictest security protocols of any establishment. They have a strict stance when it comes to safeguarding the financial resources of both the casino and the players, as well as the fairness of the games. As an illustration, PokerStars has created one of the most advanced data security strategies in existence. While it makes sense that the company would want to keep many details private, some of the measures it takes to protect sensitive information are only part of its public security initiatives. These include keeping different information segments in separate databases, putting some data servers in highly secure locations, and regularly having outside security checks check in. As supporters of security and privacy have long praised, users of the website never need to opt out in order to contribute to the protection of their data. Story 28. The magnetic strip on your credit card is aware of your secrets. The banking sector is another one that is at last stepping up to offer strong privacy and data protection. At last, a few of the biggest banks have adopted a more assertive stance. Before, they would usually just provide a fresh credit card and erase any charges that weren't permitted. The card itself poses one of the most risks in the US because its magnetic strip is easily hackable and holds a lot of personal data. The US banks have been hesitant to switch to credit card data chips, primarily due to the expense to businesses, despite the European Union, EU, having done so long ago. Story 29. Two-factor authentication. One of the best ways to keep data secure is not used by Citibank, Chase, Capital One, Charles Schwab, Ally, or Bank of America when logging into your account. Subscription-based software has long employed two-factor authentication, which requires both a non-physical password or security code and a physical token or dongle to log in. This method has no bearing on personal security. It is only sensible to utilize it with confidential data, rather than happening occasionally using SMS, email, or phone alerts in response to questionable activities is now standard practice. Apps that let you immediately stop transactions for any reason have also been released by banks and credit card firms such as Simple and Capital One.